At this age, you should have been in college with your friends, go shopping in the weekends, and watch movies. But you're hiding from media. Your eyes became sour. People were just like this. No matter how difficult it was, you could take it without saying a word. But when someone comforted, you will break down. You force back and blink your eyes, not to cry. Not everyone is lucky enough. You wanted to take your hand back, but Jungkook intervened with his. In fact, you are lucky because you meet me. He gave you a mysterious look. Okay, let's talk about appointment later sent by Kim Group. He dropped his hand on your thigh. Mr. Kim wanted to have a visit at Hybe Enterprise. If you don't want to see him, then I can help you to push his appointment. But my opinion is that let him go and confirm it. Why? You looked at him. Eyes becoming wet. Wine, you have to understand it. Some things, the more you try to hide it, people will gossip wrongly and spread it out. He ignored the tears in your eyes. For example, there must be a lot of people who want to verify our relationship. No matter it's Kim family, others or media. If I didn't respond to his appointment, then it will make others feel that our relationship is more mysterious. In a bad way, certain people want to dig out truth and more trouble follow. But I don't work at Hybe Enterprise. You sat choking in your tears. That's very simple. I will arrange a position for you at Hybe Enterprise. Just let Mr. Kim confirm it, then media will eventually give up spreading rumors of you being my underground lover. Indeed, the terms of perspective of this person is very different from yours. He will consider carefully everything and decide the reasonable way of doing possible things. He have a wise mind and mature thoughts. Jungkook looked down into your wetty eyes. So, do you agree with my opinion? You bite your lower lip and nodded. That is there any work in your company that I can do? He smiled and kissed your head soft. Do you really think I will let you work there? As my wife, you just need to sit in the company on the day. Mr. Kim will come to have meeting. Oh, is that so? You blinked your eyes in surprise. I thought I had to go to work. No, darling, he revealed a faint smile. But you are in your work as my wife. After all, I still have to pay you a lot of salary every month, and that's a great fortune. There is a large sum of money every month in your account. You blushed and lowered your head. It's not that I don't want to work in your company, but I don't have any experience to work in the big company like yours. I don't know what can I do. You haven't graduated, you just married so early. Who said you can't do anything? For example, go and get me some coffee. You have an assistant, you answered. Help me clean up my office. You have a cleaner, you say. Or after I finish dealing with the work, go out and have a meal with me. You have a secretary. As for Jungkook's words to comfort, you retorted one by one. He helplessly sighed. Well, no kidding. I don't need you to go to work, but on the day of appointment, in order to prevent them from investigating the nature of your work, I must arrange a detailed range of work for you. You grasped the key point in his words. What do you mean then? Who else wants to go there except my father? Well, since you asked, at the same day his song will represent the Lee Enterprise. As for the land I bet, the Lee Enterprise said that they wanted to join in. Although I don't mean to cooperate with them. He sang. You clenched your fists. He saw your strong reaction by the mention of your ex. No, hurry up and refuse to let Hisang come to the company. I don't want to see that man. Don't care much. who will dare to do anything to you in front of me? He didn't care about your reaction to your ex-boyfriend. You shook your head. No, Jungkook. It must be Unji's idea to let Dad. Jungkook pulled you into his arms. I said I'm here. A kiss was printed on your forehead. Astonished, you raised your head. Both eyes met, and the unknown emotional surged up in the bottom of hers. It's beating abnormally. Your eyes widened. I need you now. He is frustrated, which he says in a way with his rape voice, but you don't find insulting at all. The couch is best place to have a good conversation between couple, but bed is more comfortable. 2 days later, you went to the Hive Enterprise with Jungkook. Wearing formal dress as his, you walked to his office nervously and sat down on the sofa while Minho reported a schedule to Jungkook. He have many things to deal with, several meetings. So, what position do you want to give, madam? Your hands clutched on your knees with the mention of your work position. Jungkook smiled faintly and stood up from his chair. No, it's not necessary. You and Minho are surprised. Why? Did you already ask someone to arrange it? Jungkook walked to you and sat down beside you. She's already doing her job as my wife. Your eyes widened and looked at him with your almond-shaped big eyes. Minho was also surprised that Jungkook will reveal his relationship with you. President June, are you serious? Jungkook turned to you. Why, if you agree, I can tell Mr. Kim about our relationship. He didn't mind at all. You don't have to face any problems. You can rest here without working or at home. You can go everywhere you want and your salary won't be deducted. In the world, this was a job that everyone dreamed of. No, no, you shook your head heavily. Don't scare me. Prepare another job for me. You still have many things to do in life. You want to go to school and graduate, join college, and hang out with friends. Enjoy your life as you want. Due to your fear, you strongly required an idle and convenient position for you for a day. Jungkook also know about your thoughts and he carefully considered it. With your decision, he will help you to get into good college in the future. He will help you to enroll study abroad as you are facing to go out in the country and media will be chasing after you. That would be so problematic for this little girl. After all, your ex-boyfriend will be also arrived. Usually, Jungkook wasn't interested in other people's affairs, but no matter what's the reason of his son pestering his wife. If he do any harm to you, he won't care about the relationship between them, since he had already broken up with you and engaged with your stepsister. And now, what does he need from you? From possibility, he might want to teach you a lesson or second. Jungkook squinted his eyes slightly. He didn't give up on wine yet. After lunch, in just half an hour, Minho had already arranged several idle positions: elevator operator, general file organizer, deputy director, manager, supervisor, receptionist, accounting. You sat on sofa listening to the jobs that Min was saying. Jungkook sat next to you drinking coffee. This is the relatively idle position. The work requirements are simple, madam. Choose which position you want, then I will arrange it. Then madam can go to fulfill it for half of day. Send her to manager, bake, and ask him to take good care of wine in the afternoon. The corner of your eyebrows twitched. You were surprised that Jungkook would blatantly let someone take care of you. Okay, President June, I will let manager Beek know right away. Minho left the office. You turned to Jungkook. Is this okay? The girl who didn't work in the company suddenly having big position in this well-known big company will be unrealistic. You were nervous. Why will it not be okay? He stretched out his arm and put it around your shoulders. Just take it as a chance to experience working here. You haven't worked in the company, have you? You had worked in small fields, in the bakery shop as a cashier, and do part time for extra pocket money. I mean, my father will find it strange. Your eyes darkened a little when you thought that Hee-sung would also come. Hee-sung know you very well. He might figure out something. Don't worry too much, just do your best, he briefly said. After an hour, you should go to find Manager Big and he will instruct you about work. This document, read it after you get time. What's this for? You looked at him. Why? This is something you should know. He leaned forward. About your family. Your eyes slowly fell on the file in your hands. Jungkook elegantly drank his coffee and put down the cup. I have investigated. I didn't get much information and some trace of Kim family stage about share Kim group, but half of shares are belongs to someone else. Someone else? Why? Mr. Kim owns your apology. His words becoming mysterious, but I hope you can calm down after knowing it. He made you curious. Made a mental preparation first. You nodded and didn't dare to look at the information. Seeing you didn't talk much, why? He called you. He rested his chin on your shoulder. Let me ask you a question. He intended to ease your tension. Your brain is blank when you heard his question. As if you had heard it wrong. Why would he ask such a question? He knows that, right? Why do you ask? You blushed. It's not your first time kissing a man, right? So, how good do you think your particular skill is? You lowered your head. In that case, 3 men had kissed you, but the longer and passionate one will be always this man, John Jungkook. Excuse me, you had literally grabbed his face and took the initiative to kiss him. How about that? Jungkook raised his head to look at the time on his watch. There is still some time left to come and I will know about it. You blankly looked at him and gasped. Why do you want to test my skills? Did he want to take advantage of you? Is it necessary? Does it matter whether it's good or not? Are you afraid? He smirked. What are you being nervous for? Haven't I seen you already? Your face reddened. Knock knock, come in. Minho walked with files. President John, Mr. Kim and Mr. Lee had arrived at the meeting room. The meeting will held in 10 minutes. Time has passed so quickly. You glanced at Jungkook. What did you do to Jungkook? It's just a few words. And then time flew like wind. Jungkook glanced at his watch on his wrist. I will go right away. He rubbed your head. Be prepared, okay? You nodded. Madam, let me take you to Manager Peak and you get familiar with environment. Okay. You hurriedly sat. Jungkook poured you a glass of water and handed it to you. He couldn't calm down for long. After drinking half of it, you handed him back. So, President June, I will make Madam first there. Jungkook was drinking remaining water left by you and nodded. Remember what I just said. You glanced at Jungkook and your heart is beating too fast. You quickly left with Minho. It's strange your heart is being excited, impulse, arousing that President John kissed you in his office. You smiled faintly and shook your head. You and he are obviously married and rolled sheet many times. Then why are you excited? Sure enough, taking the initiative is different from being passive, isn't it? Madam, Minho turned and saw you were walking slowly. You lost in your fantasy and quickly ran up to follow it up. Manager Big was very attentive and polite middleman. He shook his hand and instructed you go have seat in the manager secretary's cabin. The cabin was decorated well. It seems in his position the girl is working that made you easier. The work is very simple. You don't have to do much. Just sit here and attend few calls. Usually as my secretary's position, you are responsible to arrange documents for me and send mail to supervisor and CEO. You don't know what Minho had told to this manager Big. He details the little information that you should do. This doesn't sound difficult. There is several telephone on the desk for different departments. Computer and documents. This manager is HR that's responsible for talent recruiter and there is 50 employees working under him. He shows his office and cabin of employees that looks very busy, seen working. Manager Bake bring you introduce in that department and some head of other departments. It's formalities not to expose you. If Mr. Kim or Hae-sang asked to other departments in case of that, Manager Bake makes sure as Minho instructed him. They didn't know why Manager Bake bring new person as his secretary. Some tried to ask but they got objection. He greeted them smiling, somehow nervous. No one dared to react differently and started to work. It's not that they can get into touch with presidents. Manager Bake finally bring you to your cabin, then left with few words. You try to relax. According to situation, should be no one who don't know the relationship between you and Jungkook. At most, they would think you as his lover. After a moment, you try to be professional and turned on the computer, then watch documents. The file given by Jungkook you put in front and didn't open it for long, recalling what Jungkook had told you about it. Something is related to your past. 18 years old of leaving you had always hated that you were abandoned by your mother. Other than that, you don't seem to have shocking past. Many people already know that you are a illegitimate second daughter, so there might nothing interested in this file. You opened and saw some old newspaper with the heading written about some accident. It was old newspaper and you didn't find it any strange. Biggest family's only daughter, Miss Min, had a tragedy unknown murdered. There is not much written except few gangsters broke into the small villa and there was pool on blood. On the side there is not so clear picture attached on it that was somehow familiar to you. You have some pictures with this woman in your childhood. Reporters found that woman and small girl unconscious knocked down. Later they found that child was still alive. Later on, Mr. Kim came claiming the child as his at hospital. There was some research material about the procedure Min product companies share transferring to Kim Group. The first one was the registration of Mr. Kim and Miss Min being married and after wife's death, all the shares that belongs to Miss Min naturally taken by Mr. Kim. 10 years ago, the name of Kim Group was Min Corporation. Later, it changed and there was two registration of this company. One was in Mr. Kim and another was Miss Min. This product company had two bosses as a partnership. Later on, it was taken by Mr. Kim alone. Flipping through pages, you are introduced with the brands that created by Miss Min and run by Mr. Kim. There was another shareholder of this company which covered more than half of shares. You never heard about it before. Mr. Kim had stated decade ago about his secret marriage with Min family's only daughter and had child together. You licked your lips. You were surprised reading it carefully. The last papers were a charity record of Mr. Kim had done in the name of his second wife, Mrs. Min, and the little daughter Vine. Mrs. Min's daughter is mentioned as taken care of by her father. The event mentioned all are unknown to you. You never knew that your mother died 12 years ago. Why Kim family lied to you